Bucks, you talk about the pressure from this Carlton side. So in a game such as we had tonight, pressure becomes really important.
Yeah, I thought we'd just show a couple of edits where it looked like St Kilda were out, but they weren't able to fundamentally get out. So here, a little bit of a slip. It was the slippery conditions, but the Carlton players come from everywhere now. It looks like they're out, and then Sard comes and smothers. So St Kilda, their system was okay, but in the end, even here, the pressure right on up front, then again another one. They've been forced really out wide, and then their defence one-on-one. That kick goes from, it looks like it's a positive re-entry with time and space, but then that space is taken. And I just thought that this happened all night, everywhere, all over the field, and it's a credit to Carlton's work rate. And St Kilda would normally find time and space, but there was just smothers, pressure on the ball, no clean opportunities for St Kilda, and no time and space from inside or outside.
Commitment to the team system, so that just come forward to defend. Come forward to defend. Obviously, that's their setup, that's their strategy. But then also the individual gut-busting runs, where you're out on your own, your system's broken down, and you just have to make the effort.
But we saw that for 4 quarters, and in particular when St Kilda looked like they had time and space, they looked like they were going to go out. Yeah. Carlton's system was great, and their effort across the board was excellent.
I know Lee Matthews used to talk about, I know Vossi put it on him, every time you go over 80%, you're guaranteed you win.
Well, that was 79 tackle attempts to lay 69 tackles.
So
they only missed 10 tackles for the night.
You guys talk pre-game, and the boys on First Crack about the willingness to close up and make it a congested stoppage last week against Fremantle. Well, this is a team that are that comfortable in that environment in the Carlton Footy Club. So you can bring congestion. They say bring more.
We saw that 2 weeks ago, Gaz. We'll call the game against Geelong, where they were happy for congestion, and Geelong weren't sure. They wanted to keep a number back, and I think that's why Elijah Hollands has been so important, because he's the extra that they bring up. He's so smart. He can run really hard. He knows how to when to stay in the contest or when to pop out of the contest. So that obviously helps the personnel. But yeah, you're right. They're comfortable in that environment.
Let's have a look at the way that Carlton moved the footy. So for the last month, they've been outstanding. Number one, from moving from the back half to the forward half. How'd you see it tonight?
Oh, I thought they got the upper hand, certainly. And not only the way that they were able to move the ball, so they had 33 points from centre back or sort of that mid area, whereas they restricted St Kilda to only 2 points. The average is about 19 points. So I think they picked the right times to go quick. They picked the right times in isolation for the ball. They tried to isolate Harry McKay on
Howard.
Dougal Howard quite often, but I think it was off the back of their relentless nature inside the contest and a couple of handballs that released the runners for the ball. So this wasn't on repeat all of the night, but once they got centre forward, we've spoken about their inside 50s and their connection piece. I thought when they had opportunities to go quick, I thought they made the right decisions.
Plus 52 for midfield intercepts for the game. So let's just try and make that understanding.
And
So they didn't have to go from totally deep in defence. So they're intercepting the ball through the middle part of the ground and going back and scoring, which they hadn't been able to do. They moved the footy really well in the past month, but hadn't been able to score once they went inside.
But the irony was the numbers from the D50 to forward 50 in transition weren't great tonight.
No, or do it through the midfield.
But they were able to turn the ball over and then go in and
score. So that not only good, is that good offensively, you look at the ability to restrict the opposition, fantastic result.
KFC MVP, who have you gone for?
I've gone for Harry McKay. We've all gone for Harry McKay, sorry, but I really loved his game, especially in the second half. He did this a couple of weeks ago. I thought the way he just battled his way in, I thought he looked a bit out of sorts in the first half, especially first quarter or so, but he got into it. And that's why the benefit, I think, of playing ruck is that second ruck. It just gets you around the ball when it's been hard down forward, Bucks.
Well, he had a shot at goal from the top of 50, and that tackle was great. I mean, I think he had some really good moments in the last 10 or 15 minutes as well. And, you know, it wasn't a game where there was an absolute standout. So I thought his touches, especially when it mattered in the second half, were probably as damaging as anyone's.
It's great to see. He's had a couple of really big weeks now, having taken some time away, and it's important for Carlton, obviously, when they go forward, 19 touches, 10 marks, and he's kicked 3 goals. So
it's actually a big day, isn't it? But it just shows you, like, guys, if you're playing purely at home in the forward line, you might end up with 10 or 12 touches. Harder to influence the game. He ends up with 19. That goal he kicked in the third quarter, was he was playing in the ruck and he caught a mismatch.
Yeah, well, he does that really well. He comes up and marks the footy on the wing and is the conduit between defence and forward line. That's when he's at his absolute best. He allows Charlie Curnow to get to work inside forward 50. He started the game, Charlie, like a bomb. I thought that he was going to blow Callum Wilkie out of the water. I thought Wilkie fought back really well after half-time. He gave up 3 goals, 2 in the first quarter. He got smashed. Charlie was just in that unstoppable mood. But then Dougal Howard kicked a goal on Charlie in the third quarter, and from then it was, I thought Wilkie hit back really well, but he set him up early, Charlie.
Well, this is when there was a little bit more pace on the ball, I think, in the first quarter, guys. So he got that isolation forward of the ball. He actually got behind Wilkie a little bit, which made it really challenging for Wilkie. And then I think the kicks also going to Charlie were in really good positions, and to that point, Wilkie got done holding the man a little bit. So that was quite obvious for the umpires to see that. He was active early and really involved early when the speed on the ball further up the ground was a little bit quicker. When it became a little bit more congested, he found it hard to find some space. All right, we're going to go down to the Carlton rooms now. We've got a special guest who's been able to whack the headset on. Elijah Hollands has won universal praise up here from all the boys for his footy over the last month or so. So, Elijah, well done. Congratulations.
Thanks, gents. Yeah, what a great win, eh?
Fantastic win. Tell us about your role. 2 weeks ago, we sat here and watched you beat Geelong. I thought you were just pivotal, important, so important in the way you played there. And again tonight, what sort of role are you playing?
Yeah, I guess it can sort of defer week to week. Obviously, at times I'm up to the stoppage. I guess just being a transition player for the team, being able to work both ways with defensive running and then being able to challenge opponents forward. So being able to use that running capability.
You definitely do that, Elijah. It was noticeable from where we were sitting, how hard you were running really late into the game, prepared to do the hard work to defensive run. Do you pride yourself on that? Is that something that you've worked on over the years and you think that you can offer to the team?
Yeah, I guess it is. It is. I've always had, I guess, a pretty good tank, and I've had Ollie to chase around as well. He's got an exceptional tank. So he always keeps me on my toes. But, yeah, I think work rate's something that I know that I can bring every week. It's one of those variables that I can control week in, week out, and it's something that I think I'm able to bring to the team.
What sort of numbers do you do running? Just to give us a bit of an insight into the tank you've got.
In terms of, I don't know.
Time trials?
6 minutes flat.
For a 2K?
Yeah, 6 minutes flat for a 2K.
I thought that was for one. I thought I was going to be competitive there for a minute.
I'm nowhere near the top 3 boys that run in the time trial either. So, Matt Cottrell, Jackson Binns and Ollie all fly.
Do your off-ball edits, who shows you those during the week? Does a divisional coach get it? Do they get shown in front of the team? Because to our eyes, there's going to be a good half a dozen in that last 10 minutes that were impactful to make sure that you kept the pressure on St Kilda.
Yeah, that sort of running, especially from the forward line, we have those sort of roles that are so valuable to us within our 4 walls. So they get put up in lights in our reviews as a group, and then in our line reviews as well. So Geordie Russell and our forward line reviews will look at that sort of stuff, and I guess the stuff that you wouldn't see watching on TV at home is the stuff that we value inside the 4 walls, and that gets put to light. So guys like Will White, Corey Durden, Matt Cottrell when he's here, they run those patterns all day long, and without those guys, our system doesn't work the way it does. So yeah, it's definitely something that we value.
Well done, Elijah. Just Harry McKay, I thought he was sensational in the second half, especially tonight. Just your observations of his, I suppose his last few weeks, really. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, he's been superb since coming back. He's so valuable for us. The presence that he's able to bring, he's invaluable to the team. And then the way he was able to stand up tonight was huge for us again. He did the same 2 weeks ago, had a massive last quarter against Geelong in that win, and did the same thing again tonight. So, yeah, it's great to see him happy and healthy and, playing some really great footy.
There was a lot of congestion around the ball, especially in that third term. What was the conversations going on in and around that particular part of the game?
It definitely didn't come as a surprise. It was something that we knew coming into the game that it was going to be a key factor. 2 pretty good contest teams and teams that want to defend well. So we knew it was going to be a bit of a slugfest. So we bought into that, and we knew that we had to play 120 minutes of it if we wanted to get the result we wanted to, and we just reinforced that throughout the game.
And Elijah, on a night dedicated to our late great friend Spud Frawley, you've had your challenges yourself throughout it. I'm sure you appreciate the the enormity of a night like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gives me a different perspective on it now. I guess I was, I didn't really know much about it, and then just sort of smacks you between the face. But yeah, it's such a great game, and one that I'm really proud to be a part of. And yeah, it sends a great message. So it's great that we're able to honour Spud with this match.
Congratulations, mate. Well done, and continued success.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Elijah Hollands, I think, becoming increasingly important to this Carlton side. Hey, I thought the back half stood up really well from Carlton's point of view. Again, 2 weeks ago, Nick Haynes just here against Geelong was outstanding. He backed it up again tonight. Intercept marking, he and Silvani taking 11 intercept marks. In the end, they couldn't get through. St Kilda become the biggest challenge for them. They were outstanding.
It's important because McGovern went down pretty early.
Yeah.
He actually looked all right in the airways. So Haynes certainly had a rough start to his career at Carlton, didn't he? But he's come on nicely the last few weeks, boys. He's been really important and reads the game well. Look, he was All-Australian defender at GWS, so no surprise, but he's fitting nicely.
They only allowed St Kilda to have 8 marks inside their forward 50 with the same entries, 46 entries. But I mean, the other guy, that Jack Silvani, who took 4 himself. I mean, he was excellent. Had the role on Mitch Owens throughout the night, and just seemed to grow into the game. I think he's been so important for Carlton as he's gone about his work, and 16 touches, used the ball really well, and he's actually a really good user. Like with time and space to find find an option off one step. He's very good at what
I think
he does.
we've got a package that we're going to show you, and we'll enjoy it. And Ralphie's spoken about this in the paper in the Herald Sun about a contract that is not forthcoming. You might have done it at half time as well. He's everything that every side can use, and that is super competitive in the air, can play back and forward, uses the ball beautifully, and he's he's a fantastic club.
You speak about, so we spoke to Michael Voss pre-game, and not only what Silvani can do with his own performance, but what that allows Wiedering to do, what that allows the defensive half to do. So Haynes can then be that zone-off player. He doesn't have to be that lockdown player. McGovern can probably be a little bit more aggressive out of half-back because Silvani is that sort of second key position sort of player. I agree with you, Bucks. I reckon he uses the ball really well, makes really good decisions, rarely turns it over by foot.
Yeah, I think what you said, Gaz, I mean, this bloke, when Carlton were playing average, say, last year, like he was a guy that stood up. Like when Carlton play poorly, he plays with heart, and it doesn't really matter what the scoreboard says. It doesn't matter what the win-loss says. He plays the same way every time he hits the park.
He does. He tries his guts out.
I love his attitude. He can play in front of the ball, behind the ball. He plays second ruck if you need to. He's an invaluable player on any list.
I want you to talk to Ralphie when he comes in. I'm not with Ralphie. So when he comes back, he had him in the paper down as a 500 or 600 player. There's some $600,000 players playing in the game.
Well, what was their conversation last year about Carlton's lack of a second key defender with Wiedering? So they've found one, and not just
coaching.
a stopgap. It's good coaching. Well, mate, is it good coaching or bad coaching that's taken 8 years to get him down there?
I'll let you work that one out.